All right, so what we have here is 10 questions that Joy asked me to answer about Jenny and my relationship. And we know we might hear Charlie Brown in the background trying to breathe while we're going through this. But we'll start off with the first one. Okay. Um, where was your first date? Our first date was in downtown Los Angeles at a Korean barbecue restaurant and had a really fun time there. Had all kinds of great Korean barbecue. It was my first time having Korean barbecue. It was so good. And apparently that was a big, important test for Jenny, and I passed. She says with flying colors because I just ate everything that was on the dish. So, you know, not sure if that's always a good thing, but in this case it definitely worked in my favor. So um, that was our first date. What is my favorite quality about Jenny? My favorite quality about Jenny, and it's really hard to put into one word, right? But I was thinking about it, and I came up on this word, magnanimous. And it's kind of a big word, and I looked around and I captured this definition, which I think kind of helps describe it best. Okay, magnanimity. It's greatness of mind, that elevation or dignity of soul, which encounters danger and trouble with tranquility and firmness, which raises the possessor above revenge and makes him delight in acts of benevolence, which makes him disdain injustice and meanness, and prompts him to sacrifice personal ease, interest, and safety for the accomplishment of useful and noble objects. And, Jenny is someone who feels for people that are suffering, no matter where they are in the world, whether or not she knows them personally, and she will go out of her way to help people that will have no way of ever responding or reciprocating her help to them, but she'll do it out of the love of her heart. And that's probably the biggest quality that I think makes her most unique among people. She's got a heart of not just a heart of gold, but a heart of a diamond, and a very, very rare diamond that I'm truly blessed to hold and have as my wife. When was your first kiss? Our first kiss was after our first date. Now I know moms that probably sounds like really bad, and I'm actually here for the record. Okay, we've actually never kissed. Okay, our first kiss is going to be on the altar on our wedding day. So we've actually really never kissed. But if we had a first kiss at one point, it would have actually been right after our first date, after that restaurant, and we, met outside on the sidewalk, and she turned to me. I think she put her hand on my neck or something, and kind of opened up her, her face, and I just knew at that moment that, I had to kiss her, and I wanted to kiss her, and she wanted me to kiss her. So we kissed for a few seconds, and thought, wow, that was like really nice kiss. That was really sweet, and I think I'd like to do that again sometime. So. That was our first. If we had a first kiss, that would have been. But like I said, our first kiss is going to be this Sunday. So you guys will get a chance to see that. So, what is your favorite memory together? Okay, our favorite memory together. Well, there's lots of favorite memories. It's hard for me to describe just one, but I went ahead and put it in this picture right here. It's that's out there in the San Francisco Bay. As you can kind of see, I'm in like guy heaven right here. And she's like kissing me on the cheek. Right there under the Golden Gate Bridge. So I just wanted to say that that's probably one of my favorites, perhaps the favorite. It's kind of hard to say. Like I said, there's so many favorites, but that was definitely a favorite memory of us together. When did I know she was the one? Well, I knew she was the one after a church service at New Song, in which Pastor Dave, a couple of different services really, but it was kind of a process, and I just knew that based upon the messages Pastor Dave was saying, and actually our stages in a relationship at the time, that I felt God was speaking like directly to us, okay? And said, you know what? She's definitely the one for me. God is like putting this together on purpose, and He wants this thing to happen, right? So I believe that we were brought together, and out of opposite sides of the country, opposite sides of the world, here we are, in Southern California getting married, and I think that's probably a huge blessing for both of us. How many kids does she want? She wants 2 girls and 1 boy, so a total of 3 kids. What is her favorite guilty pleasure? Boom Chicka Pop popcorn. All right. I have never seen someone who loves popcorn like Jenny. Jenny like will just take this big bag, put it like in her lap, okay, and it's like covers like her whole like body, like her chest, and she'll just like reach back like this and just like, you know, eat it like that. And I mean, she just loves that Boom Chicka Pop. So I'm gonna have to go with that. But of course, she's got a few other guilty pleasures, but I don't know if you can really say they're guilty pleasures because I don't think she feels like guilty about it. She just does it. So pretty much just her favorite pleasures, and we'll go from that. What is her favorite quality in me? I would have to say kind of like authenticity, maybe. She talks a little bit about how, you know, I'm very genuine, very authentic. You know, I don't hide too much or really anything when I'm talking to her, and she feels like she trusts me quite a bit. So I guess authenticity perhaps is pretty close to the mark, I hope. And big heart, maybe, caring. What is her favorite food? I'm going to go with the octopus and spicy rice that you find in Korean restaurants. Okay, it's called bibimbap, perhaps. And then there's a really great meal she makes called dak tang, and she makes that on her own. It's so good. I think it's the best I've ever had for that particular dish for sure. And of course, we both like sushi, but she does not like eel. So learn that about her. What would her perfect day consist of? Jenny's perfect day would probably consist of being able to relax in a room by herself, maybe even with all the doors closed, and just kind of process, thinking about how God is part of this whole creation, this whole experience, and how she, you know, God fits into her life. And if she had to do one thing, though, you know, I'd say maybe riding her bikes down to the beach and, you know, go, you know, chill out in the sun for an hour or two. And another favorite activity she likes to do, which I just found out about, is deep sea fishing or, you know, charter boat fishing. So, now I know this a lot, but if you had to say one perfect day, probably just hanging out in a room, just chilling out. So that's the 10 questions, and hopefully that will shed some light on how I love Jenny so much and why she means so much to me and why I just absolutely know she's the one.